Hey guys, Adam here, and in this video I'm going to show you how to grow your business on social media, because whether your goal is to generate more leads, more clients, more customers, more sales, or simply increase your business's brand awareness and reach more people, social media can help. But for social media to work, you need to do it right. So let's get to it. Social media is an incredibly powerful business building tool. Plus, it's not going anywhere anytime soon, so it only makes sense to dive in head first and really commit to learning and mastering social media marketing principles that'll help to grow your business, not just now, but for days and weeks and months and even years to come. But like I just mentioned, for social media to work, it needs to be done right. You can't just post videos of you playing air guitar and expect your business to grow. So let's make sure to give your business the highest chance of success by diving into what it truly takes to grow your business on social media. And this all starts with choosing a primary platform. Now, when it comes to social media marketing, there's no shortage of available networks to choose from. And not only that, but there's no shortage of available strategies and tactics and things that you can do on each of the different networks that you could potentially choose. Essentially, it's kind of overwhelming. This is why the advice to do everything and be everywhere and be active and engaged on every single social media network, constantly creating content, constantly engaging with your customers and your audience, well, that's ridiculous. I mean, the premise is solid. The thought behind it, makes sense, right? After all, you want to try to increase your content, you want to try to increase your reach, and you want to try to be everywhere as much as you possibly can. But in reality, that's exhausting. And it's really just not that effective. And the reason it's not that effective is because your ideal target market, the people that you're actively trying to serve and trying to connect with, well, they're not everywhere. So there's no point for you to be everywhere. This is why probably the single most important thing you can do when it comes to really growing your business on social media is spending a bit of time doing a bit of market research, doing your due diligence, and really diving into your ideal customer avatar, your perfect target market, and figuring out where they're present and where they're active online, and then going there and ignoring everything else. It sounds pretty obvious too, right? After all, if you do some research and you talk to your customers and you take a look at social media usage statistics and you determine that, yeah, your audience is on Instagram or on Facebook or on YouTube or whatever, well, if it's on one of those three platforms, why would you go be posting on Twitter? You shouldn't. Unless, of course, you've done your research and you've determined that your market is on Twitter, in which case, why would you be posting on Facebook? You see, this is a bit of a pet peeve I have with the social media marketing industry in general, which is essentially you have Facebook people talking about how great Facebook is, and Instagram people talking about how great Instagram is, and YouTube people talking about how great YouTube is. And they're all right. But they're also all wrong, because the greatness or the relevance or the effectiveness of any single social media network is going to directly come down to your network, your audience, your customers' adoption of that platform, and then your ability to actually use it. So, step one is to figure out where your ideal clients and customers are spending their time online, and then step two is to commit and to dedicate time and money and energy to going into creating content and to mastering that one specific platform. And this is why my advice is always to choose one primary platform. Not 3, not 5, not 10, because it's simply going to be too hard to start to go in there and master 10 different platforms. And again, your audience probably isn't spread out that thin. All right, so now that you've identified your ideal target market and you've figured out where they're present and where they're active online, you've picked out one primary platform, maybe a secondary platform for later down the road, and you've committed to doubling down and creating content and marketing there, well, what's next? Well, it's here that you need to understand what makes the social media networks work, why they serve the content they do, what's the driving motivator behind it, and that really all comes down to the algorithm. You see, the algorithm is the artificial intelligence or mathematical equations, or however you really want to look at it, that essentially runs the programs. It's the thing that decides what part of your content gets shown. It's the thing that decides what kind of content you see, and everything in between. This is why the best way to grow your business on social media is to not try to fight the algorithm, but rather to give it what they want. And what they want, when I say they, it sounds like I'm talking about the robots. Well, to give them what they want, or give the algorithm what it wants, well, what it wants is attention. Ideally, your customers and your clients' attention. Essentially, what that means is getting them to the platforms and then keeping them on the platforms as long as humanly possible. This is why one of the best things you can do to try to grow your business using social media is to try to keep them on the social media platforms consuming your content. This works for a number of different reasons. The first of which is because the longer you keep them on the platform, well, the more that the social media algorithms are going to favor you because you're clearly giving them what they want because your people are staying. The second reason this works is because the more content of yours that someone consumes, ideally your ideal target market, well, the more opportunities you have to build that know, like, and trust factor, to build rapport, and to establish a more human relationship. Essentially, it's a win-win. Now, the flip side of this is a mistake that I see way too many business owners making way too often, and that is to use social media to try to get people off the platform as quickly as possible, which basically destroys any hope you have of ever getting your content promoted and really making that connection with your viewers, with your audience on social media. So how do you get people off the platform though, right? Because you're probably not going to be making too many sales directly on social. So what's the strategy? What's the plan, Adam? What's the plan? Well, my friend, have no fear. The plan is really quite simple. Essentially, we use organic social media, which means not paying for ads, but really just creating content to do just that. Create content, build trust, establish a relationship, and keep people on the platform as long as possible. And then we use paid ads like Facebook ads and Instagram ads and YouTube ads. And these are the things that we can use to target our audience to drive them off the platform. That way, we essentially don't spam up our newsfeed with salesy, sleazy, pushy messages, but at the same time, we help you accomplish your business goals because we're not there on social media to have fun. We're there to grow your business. All right, so while we're on the topic of growing your business and keeping people on social media, giving you more opportunity to create that rapport and build that trust and foster that engagement, well, we need to talk about comments. This is why you'll often see social media content that asks for likes or asks you to subscribe or asks you to leave a comment down in the comment section below. It's because it really is that important. It helps the content get shown to more people. It helps the algorithm see that people are actually enjoying and liking this content, and it shows and really builds that engagement with the community. Plus, to add to all of this, encouraging and then engaging with comments helps to show that your business is made up of real, genuine, authentic people. And this is incredibly important because people like doing business with people, not businesses. So the more that you can show that you've got real people working behind the scenes and you're not just a faceless corporation hell-bent on destroying the world, the better you're going to do. So on that note, if you haven't left a comment yet, make sure to head to the comment section and leave a hi or a hey, if that's more your style. All right, this next tip on growing your business on social media is less of a hack and more of an important strategy or mindset that you really need to approach this whole thing from. So let's take a step back for a second and really take a look at your business from that high level 30,000 foot overview. And that means it's time to start asking some really tough questions about just how seriously you're truly taking your marketing. Now here's the good news. This is a safe spot, a no judgment zone, and your answers are completely confidential. So try to answer as honestly as possible. And no, you don't need to write these answers in the comment section below, unless you want to. First off, do you know exactly who your ideal target market, that perfect customer avatar is that you're trying to serve? I'm talking about things like their demographic details, like age and gender and income and occupation, their geographic details, like what city, state, province, or country they live in, and their psychographic details, like what are their values and their attitudes and their lifestyles. Next, do you know your ideal target market's biggest pains and problems and fears and frustrations? And more importantly, do you know how your business is uniquely positioned to help solve that for them? Next, are you creating daily content on either Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn, or at least weekly content on YouTube? Remember, the algorithms need content, and you've got to feed the beast if you want your stuff to rise to the top, to increase touch points, and to stay relevant and top of mind with your target market. And lastly, are you truly prioritizing marketing and growing your business as a major business function? You see, marketing is the single most important element to your business's success because it's marketing's job to bring in new leads, new customers, new sales, and new revenue for your business. And without those, you don't really have a business. So, how'd you do with the questions? Well, if you're like most businesses, there's going to be at least a few no's in those questions, but that's okay, because it means we've got room to grow. So to give you even more ideas and even more inspiration to really help grow your business on social media, I've put together a video you're gonna wanna check out right here. So make sure to check that out now, and I'll see you in the next episode. All right, tip number 2 is to make sure to have a brand plan. The 3 words that can help you build an effective brand plan are consistency, clarity, and congruence. Consistency means that you're applying a regular schedule.